everyone, welcome to the session of English again. In this session, we'll continue with our chapter Adjective Part 4. In Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, we have already discussed definition, types and degrees of adjectives. In this session, we'll continue with the chapter with some important points to remember in adjective, some important adjectives and their use. Also, we will discuss an exercise to practice in this session. So let's begin with the session. We have some adjectives which can be used differently, or the adjectives which looks like same but they have different meanings and use. So let's discuss those adjectives. First, we have two words, little and few. Now, many people be confused in the concept of little and few and their uses. So let's discuss this in this topic. We have one word little and other word few. Both are adjectives and both are quantitative adjectives. Basically, one is quantitative, this one is quantitative adjective, whereas this one is numeral adjective. This is the basic difference between both of these. It means this can be used with uncountable noun. This is used only with an uncountable noun. That's why this is a quantitative adjective, whereas few is used with countable nouns. Therefore, it is a numeral adjective. The next thing, this is the basic difference between little and few. The other part is we have some other words like little, a little, and the little. Same, few, a few, and the few. So we have these three words or these three phrases. So we have already discussed the difference between little and few, that little is used for uncountable nouns, whereas few is used with countable nouns. Now, what's the difference among little, a little, and the little? And what's the difference among few, a few, and the few? Let us see this with an example. Suppose there is a man and he has a 10 rupee note. He has a note of 10 rupees. He has a note of 10 rupees. He went to a bookshop and asks for a book, but the book costs rupees 1000. Now look at the price of the book, it is 1000, whereas he only has 10 rupee note. Now, does this note have a value in front of this 1000 rupee note or 1000 rupees? No. He can't even take it on loan or promise to give money afterwards. He can't even borrow the book. He can't even take the book for a few days. So this is not of any value in front of this book. In front of this book that costs 1000 rupees. Now, this indicates that this 10 rupees is few rupees that he has. Now, again, he decided to go to a newspaper shop. Now, this newspaper, maybe the Hindu, he went there to buy the Hindu, but the Hindu costs 12 rupees. But he has only 10 rupees. But these 10 rupees have some value in front of rupees 12, though it has no value in front of 1000 rupees. But this note has some value in front of 12 rupees. Just because he can say that he may give 2 rupees afterwards, or he may get a 2 rupees discount, a 2 rupee discount, or anything can happen. Or maybe possible he didn't buy it, but there is a value. He feels positive just because he has only or he lacks only a few rupees. That is only rupee 2. So it is positiveness that has been in his mind. So now what he did, he went to another shop to buy a note. This note costs him 10 rupees. Now he is very happy. Why? Because the note that he has is sufficient for this note. He proudly will take it out and give it to the shopkeeper that, do give me this note. Only 10 rupees. Okay, give it to me. Just because now we can see that he is happy just because the amount that he has is sufficient for this note. He doesn't lack over here. Whereas with this case and in this case, he was unhappy because this is not the suitable amount to buy this is not the suitable amount to buy this, but this is the suitable and sufficient amount to buy this. He proudly can take his note out and show it over here. Whereas he could not show it because he has only 10 rupees, which he got embarrassed to show in front of an amount of rupees 1000. So in this case he has few rupees. In this case he has a few rupees because here he can show the 10 rupees note, though it will not work, but he can say that only 2 rupees are left. He lacks only 2 rupees. Whereas in this case, he will proudly take his note out, give it to the shopkeeper, and take the note which he wanted to buy or which he wants to buy proudly. So this is the few amount. It means few is negligible or valueless. That is, it is used in negative sense, whereas a few states some and the few states sufficient. That is, we have what we require or what we need. Same is the difference among little, a little, and the little. Little is used in negative sense, that is negligible. A little is used for some, though in a positive sense, and the little is sufficient. Now let's take some examples. There were only due to rain, due to heavy. So students, there were only few students. So here a word few should come. Because that was a rainy day, maybe students did not come, or maybe only few students come. So the teacher did not take test. So the teacher did not give test. Actually, teacher gives test. The students take test. If you are going to take any exam, it means you are going to take it. You are not going to giving it. Now, whenever we say knowledge is a dangerous thing, it means a little knowledge. Because if we have no knowledge or little knowledge, that means that is very good. If we have the sufficient knowledge of something, that is the little knowledge, it means it is also good. But if we have a little knowledge about something, that is a dangerous thing. We all know this very well. The little money that he has helped him in his difficult time. So the little money, it means he has sufficient money for his difficult times. The little money that he had helped him a lot in the time of corona or in the time of pandemic. So that is the little. So there the little is suitable. So this is the difference between few and little, and the difference among few are few and the few, and little are little and the little. So now let's move to other types of adjectives, that is further and farther. Now this further is used to show the distance when something is so now here we'll use further and farther. So further is used to state something additional, and farther is used to show the distance. For example, I need further information about Chandrayaan 3. So this is further information. It means the additional information. But if I say farther, her house is farther from mine. So the word farther shows the distance. It means my house is farther than hers, or her house is farther than mine. It shows the distance between the two things, that is farther. So there is a difference between further and farther. Fewer and less. Fewer are generally used with countable nouns, whereas less is used with uncountable nouns. Near and next. Near is when something is near something, that is in any area particular. For example, if I say McDonald is near my society, it means it is located somewhere in the area of my society or near my society. It means it can be either on the left side, on the right side, uh, maybe after 2 3 uh, shops, maybe after a few steps, or maybe possible it is just near my society. But if I say next, next means the second one, the second. Or for example, there is one shop and there is shop B, so we can say B is next to A. B is next to A. Second one, or we can say the next one, we can say beside, something which is located just after it. So that is called next. that shop A is next to shop B. The school is next to our society. It means just after the society we have the school. So this is the difference between near and next. Now the word later and letter. Now if we talk about two things, for example, I will tell you this later on. Later shows time, whereas letter shows position. Now if I say that I will tell you this later on, it means that I will discuss this topic after some time. Or if I say letter, letter represents second of the two. Suppose we have two options, and I'm talking about the second one. This is called letter. For example, between Riya and Rekha, the letter is a letter dances well. It means when we have two options or two persons, that is Riya and Rekha, the letter dances well. The letter means Rekha. In this sentence, we have Rekha on the letter position. Letter means the second of the two. Second of the two. So Rekha dances well. It means I'm talking about Rekha in this sentence. Riya is former, whereas Rekha is later. Now, one more thing to remember, that letter can be used only for two persons. If there are more than two persons, we cannot use letter. There we have to use this next one, the third one, and so on. For example, if we have more than two persons, if I say among Rohit, Rohan, and Akar, the letter is in bank. Now, out of these three persons, I'm talking about one who is doing job in the bank, or he's posted in the bank. Now, if we see these three persons, I tell you the letter. But I've already told you that letter is used only for two persons. It means the sentence is incorrect. To make it correct, we can replace this word letter with the last. The last one is the banker, or the last one does the job in a bank. So among Rohit, Rohan, and Akar, the last is in the bank. So letter is used only with the two persons, only for the two persons. When we are talking about two persons only, we use letter. So this is the difference between later and later. Later shows time, whereas later shows position. Now latest and last. So latest is used for anything that is fresh, that is new. For example, the latest movie, the latest news. We use the word latest, news, latest movie, latest fashion. We use this fresh, the newest, that is latest. And last is at the end. We cannot say last news, but we can say latest news. The last word that the soldier said was Jai Hind. So, last word, it means it is end now. There is nothing beyond it. There is nothing after it. So that is used as last. Or we say in the last class, in the last session, it means that has been ended. Now it will not be continued. If it is continued, that will be the latest, that will be the fresh. For example, we take latest addition. But the last means the last that we had. Latest is the newest, is the fresh. So this is the difference between latest and last. Again, now first and foremost, first is actually used for the first in position and foremost is used for popularity and importance. That shows the importance of something. Whereas first is in position, is first in position. For example, he came first in his class. The first Prime Minister of India is Honorable Sri Jawaharlal Nehru ji. So he was the first Prime Minister. But the foremost Prime Minister of India is Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji. Suppose I say this was the first exam, that was the first exam that I took. That was the first class that I took online, that I gave online. But this is the foremost lecture that I give. So first and foremost are divided on the basis of position and popularity. So this is the difference between first and foremost. He was the foremost politician of his time. Maybe possible some person was really valuable and popular at that time. So he was the foremost popular. He was not the first politician of his time. He was the foremost politician of his time. So this is the difference between first and foremost. Now we have elder and older. Elder are generally used with people, whereas old, older, oldest, it is a comparative degree and generally used not with the persons but with animals and things. Things and animals or person. But this is used only in case of people. For example, he is elder to me. My brother is elder to me. But in case of things, animals, persons, we see that the things get older. For example, my bicycle is old. My suppose this dog is older than that one. So this dog is older. So in case of animals, we use older. Now we'll do some types of questions based on adjectives that you might overcome in your exam. Sorry, that you might encounter in your exam. So types of questions that are asked from this part, adjectives. First question is there to identify the adjective. The blue car is parked outside. Now you have been asked to identify the adjective. Now car is a noun and the word blue is qualifying it. So this is an adjective, descriptive adjective. So blue is an adjective. Comparative and superlative degree forms. This book is interesting than the one I read last week. So if it is If the comparison is being done, so it should be not interesting. Interesting is a positive degree where we have to use comparative degree here. So it should be like more interesting. So more interesting instead of interesting. The Eiffel Tower is tallest building in the world. Now correct the comparison. Here the tallest should come, not tallest. Because before every superlative degree, we always use the, and it is compared with all the buildings in the world. That is why we have to use superlative degree of adjective. So order of adjectives, first we need size, then shape, age, color, nationality, material, noun. Material, then noun. A big rectangle, white Italian marble table. Now in this sentence we can see that big is a size, rectangle is a shape, white is color, Italian is nationality, marble is material. Now, according to the sequence, it should be size, it means big, rectangle or rectangular, white Italian marble table. So, this is in the same sequence. We can learn it like this: SACNM. So, now we have another type of question, that is fill in the blank. I saw a dash cat walking on the street. So, nice cat, black cat, or smart cat? Obviously, a black cat should be there. So, I saw a black cat on the street. Now, you have to use comparative degree or comparison. Which is cheap, the red shirt or the blue shirt? It means both of these shirts are being compared. So, which is cheaper? Not cheap. It should be cheaper. Next. Among all the students, John is intelligent. It means the students, all the students, one is compared with them all, with all of them. So is the most intelligent should come over here. That is superlative comparison. Now we can also face error spotting. For example, she is more taller than her sister. Now we know well we cannot use double comparatives. So more is removed. So the correct sentence will be she is taller than her sister. More taller is error. We should not use the word more. So choose the correct adjective. Now in this type of question, the movie was, now how was the movie? Was it exciting, excited, or excitable? Excited is used for a person that he is very excited. But the movie was exciting. So it should be exciting over here. Use of adjectives with articles. I have interesting book to read. So I have an interesting book to read. Book is a noun preceded by an adjective. So N should be placed before it. So it should be an interesting. So these are some types of questions that come in the part of adjectives.